spoke about the quiz the other day, but I'm ready to answer any questions that you may have. Again, you know the format of the exam, two essay questions, and you're going to answer one of them. You're going to write essays, which means that you shouldn't, under any circumstances, you shouldn't write less than 200 words, okay? So the quiz is going to cover Tom's Midnight Garden, only Tom's Midnight Garden, which is, I think, better than having a number of things. Okay, the focus again on what we have done so far in the novel. We spoke about Hattie and its how instrumental she is, how transformative she is in the life of Tom. This is number one. And we also spoke, um, what else did we talk about? We spoke, of course, about the garden. We spoke about the garden as perhaps a figment of the imagination of Tom, and also how important imagination and fantasy is. Again, it provides both escape and solace, escape from the drab reality that Tom thinks he lives in, away from his family and loved ones, living in an ordinary house, a house that is, you know how he described the house. I mean, even the first chapter started with the word prison. It was more like a prison for him. So it was the garden, when it came, it was like an escape from this kind of prison, with all the associations of prison, being away from your loved ones, forbidden lots of things, not enjoying life because you're in a cage, right? And solace, in the sense that, with the beauties that he has seen, with the companionship of Hattie, having the opportunity to go all the way to the golden age, ostensibly the Victorian age, was happy, and also the experiences that he got on the way, learning, maturing, realizing that life has ups and downs, reconciling with life, coming to terms with the sad realities of life, thinking of, you know, the linearity of life, and accepting that these are all done through the agency of the imagination and fantasy. And had it not been for this agency, he wouldn't have learned that much. So this is the power of the imagination that we're talking about. So these are the two things that I would like you to focus on. Again, you need to provide examples. You need to also be comprehensive. You cover the different aspects of the question. You need to also be clear, and of course, you need to be relevant. I don't ask you about something and you ask about something else. You don't set your own questions, like I always say. Okay, give us what we want and a dash extra if you can. This is basically what we want you to do. Um, if you have questions, come to the mic and share them with me.
Doctor, can I ask a question, please?
Yeah, of course.
Like a small question only.
That's
Uh,
fine. Small or big, that's fine. Yes.
the last meeting, we discussed like two themes we should focus on, but like I can't remember it.
Yeah, this is what I have just said.
Like, is it
So
like in,
the pivotal role of Hattie, and how transformative she was in the life of Tom, what she did.
uh-huh.
Uh, it's all about Hattie. Hattie's life was material. This is what I keep saying, was material, her experiences, past experience, traumatic experiences, the losses that she had anchored, all these things were material enough for Tom to learn from. Had it not been for her and for her experiences, he wouldn't have learned as much. He wouldn't have kind of become the mature guy that he was, or he became at the end of the mature. You don't have to be old to be mature. This is what we also learned from the novel. You can be small, but you can gain knowledge and wisdom. And this is perhaps one of the challenges and one of the takeaways of the novel, the fact that you don't have to grow physically in order for us to say that you have learned and you have matured. Again, this is all the work of Hattie. This is all the work of the experience, the traumatic experiences that he went through. Actually, he didn't go through them himself, but he heard her speak about them. He felt sorry for her. He kind of showed empathy towards what she was going through, remembering and recollecting. So it's those memories that changed him for the better. I promise you, the fact that towards the end he's totally different. So you have to talk about that. You have to talk about how important Hattie is. Remember even what I said about this idea that Hattie may lay claim to the title of the novel. The novel's title is Tom's Midnight Garden. I asked this question the other day. I say, why it's not Hattie's, uh, what's the rest of that? Tom's Hattie's Midnight Garden, for example, for the agency that she showed, for the amount of work that she has done, for the vibes that she also provided. The play, she was a playmate. She was actually more than just a playmate for for the convenience of Tom. No, she played multiple roles, and they all contributed towards the growth that we saw in Tom at the end. You have to talk about that. You have to provide examples of things that they have done together. What did she introduce him to and stuff, and the underlying significance of those introductions. Yeah. Other questions? Yeah, Nagwa, go ahead.
Uh,
Yeah, go ahead, Nagwa.
yes, doctor, I want to ask about like the ending of it. Like we know all how it comes to an end. Like he meets Mrs. Bartholomew and learns how she's actually Hattie. But the imaginative and the fantastical elements of it, like it is does not really connects everything. Like we can say that what Tom was going through was an like uh like a part of Hattie or Mrs. Bartholomew's memories. That's why we have non-linearity in the time, depending on what Mrs. Bartholomew was feeling. So can we include that according to what we see fit in the essay if we get a relevant question? Like there is no conclusive ending, or there is no conclusive explanation to what to how
To what
they are connected in real life.
Yeah, typical of life, you can never kind of predict the trajectory of his life because he's only a boy. You don't know what his intentions are. But what we know for sure is that he changed, that he
Yeah.
learned, right? And how did he achieve this level of awareness. It's through, of course, through Hattie, who is now Mrs. Bartholomew, right?
Yes, the
Mm,
point is, Doctor, because maybe I am a bit confused about it. Like, we see him going through the Midnight Garden, and then we
mm,
learn that it is Mrs. Bartholomew. So
mm.
it's a bit confusing how they all relate together, like the
Yeah,
Midnight Garden and then the
this is
reality.
typical. Yeah, this is that's why we're saying it's what? It's a fantasy,
Yeah,
right? So with fantasies, you have to suspend your disbelief. Perhaps Yanagwa and I, this is what I know about your character. Perhaps you're too pragmatic and too realistic.
kind of, yeah.
But you find it very, you cannot find it in your heart to accept that this may happen. The Hattie that I'm so used to is now the 70 or the 80-year-old Mrs. whatever her name is,
Yeah,
right? Yeah, no, you need to come, you yourself has to learn a lesson or two, and you come to terms with the fact stuff happens. And remember what I said, but why do we accept dreams and we don't accept these things in life? Don't we accept the fact that dreams are part of our life and we
yeah,
go and live in those dreams and we even cherish them and when we wake up, we kind of retell them or tell them to our parents or our loved ones, if they are
yeah.
good, of course, right? So again, it's because literature is like this. Literature is not life, and you wouldn't like it. You wouldn't like it if literature was similar or identical with life. So why would I need literature if it's like life? I have life in front of me. So you need to have this element of unpredictability, unbelievability, right? Imagination, fantasy, and all those kinds of things.
Yeah, I would agree. It is fun actually, but not when you're analyzing it and like you're going through the
And
deep
remember,
details of
this
it.
is primarily meant for children. Yeah, that this is very debatable, the fact that it is primarily meant for children, because we, at one point, we would say that, you know, if I am a children's literature writer, I wouldn't discriminate. I write literature with literature, and it's up for grabs whether childrens are going to kind of read it, adults, right? Because I mean, the lines are now very blurry between what is for children and what is for adults, right? So again, you need to know that this is literature, and literature is unpredictable. Literature is fantastic for the most part. Whatever you don't accept in life, you perhaps have to kind of grapple with and eventually come to terms with in literature. Yeah,
Yeah, thank you, Doctor. It's just that
you
I'm
are.
trying to understand it for the sake of the exam and
Yeah,
analyzing
that's
it.
fine. I mean, the fact that you're confused, it's very healthy, by the way, because this is literature and we shouldn't all agree on one single thing. This is not like an article in a newspaper where we are provided with facts. So we need to agree on those facts. No, literature is different. Literature is very fluid, right? And again, the interpretation is up for grabs. You have your own meaning. You are a co-author of meaning, if you like. You So you have the original author, writer, right? And you yourself, as a reader and a consumer of this novel, is a co-author of meaning. So which means that your meaning may be different from mine, and يعني, this is not this is not bad news anyway. Okay,
Okay, thank you so much, Doctor.
you're welcome. Maha,
Yes, doctor.
yes, go ahead.
When I studied Midnight or Tom in Midnight Garden, I noticed that he used the skates at the end of the story and made them a tangible reality to make us confused between the reality and fantasy.
Mm.
Um, and also, I have a question: is Tom trip to the garden um, at the time travel or just a dream, where where his dream and uh, uh, I, I I don't know how to convey the question, but I get confused. Is it a dream or just a time travel? This is a dilemma for me. And should I point out critics in every point I talk about when I talk about in the quiz?
I wouldn't call it a dream, it's an alternative reality. So you have reality itself, which was the reality of him being confined in the house of his aunt and uncle, and obviously he wasn't happy about that. So the garden provides an alternative reality of playmates because he found one and he was so happy. Reality of going all the way back to the past, and obviously it's very if you think of it, I mean, the idea of time travel is in and of itself fun, right? So it was an alternative reality that is full of escape, that is full of solace and consolation. Salwa. He wasn't happy. He didn't feel at home in this house. So it's an alternative reality that verges uh, um, on whatever is dreamy and whatever is fantastic. And by fantastic, of course, I mean something that does not align with your mind. Your mind says that it's only one reality that we have, reality that we can feel and touch and sense. But what we have seen in the garden is far away from reality. It's a figment of perhaps his own imagination.
Yes, doctor, especially with existence of the clock in the downstairs. I think the writer wants to connect the time travel with the clock in downstairs. That's
Yeah,
right,
I
doctor.
mean, it doesn't, you know, um, dream-like realities or alternatives realities do not follow our rules of logic. If you apply rules of logic to them, they would they wouldn't work, right? So again, it's about this suspension of reason. You don't think of things in a reasonable way, in a logical way, because that doesn't work in our case. Again, because this is children's literature, where obviously children's you set children's imagination free. Again, children and the way they they perceive reality is a little bit dreamy. Whatever I mean, you cannot convince children of things and you put things in a logical way because they don't have this big capacity for reasoning yet. That's why, uh, I mean, our stories have this element of uh, the fantastic in them, and they accept that because they don't, you know, they haven't developed reasoning yet to question you and say, how come this happens? Up until a certain age when they start to ask all the questions, and of course you have inquisitive children and they ask, and again you need to suspend your disbelief.
Doctor, also, should we point out all the critics when we write? There are many critics analyzed
It
the novel.
depends. You're saying many critics, which means that they tackle different themes and topics and ideas.
Yeah.
You only cite those who are relevant to the question. See?
Okay, doctor.
Yeah, go ahead if you have any more questions. That's fine.
Doctor, I'm sorry, but
That's fine.
you mean if the question request specific critics, or even if the question don't
And if the question doesn't require critics, I mean, if you can answer it using your own mental resources, that's fine. But
okay, thank
if you remember a critic whose ideas back up what you are saying, that's even finer.
okay, thank you, doctor.
Any more questions? Anyone and everyone? Okay, طيب. Again, we're not meeting tomorrow because you guys have um, a quiz at 12 and you'll go to the university. So what days do we have left? So tomorrow is Tuesday, so we will meet on Wednesday and on Thursday, inshallah. Yeah, Mariam, go ahead.
Yes, doctor. Doctor, while I study I'm not finished it yet, but while I study it yesterday and yesterday after, day after, sorry,
Mm.
I found a lot of themes. What should I focus on? And I found in summarize of other students, they essay, they compare the story with the other story, The Secret Garden. It
Yeah,
is
this
this
was
okay?
no, we're not comparing. This has never been a question that we ask students. We're saying, and this is something that we referred to in our introduction to the novel, that this novel, and this is something that we did last time when we had this kind of presentation where we said that Philippa Pierce was not the first one to talk about this idea of um, time slip narrative where people go all the way back to the past and we normally have a boy or a girl going there and meeting with ancestors and starting to relive those times. We said the novel is not new in this because there were precedents. This is the only reference that we have. Other than that, we're not comparing. How can we compare if we haven't given you the other novel, yeah, Maria? Did we give you the
Mm.
other novel? Is it part
No,
of?
no,
No, no. It's only a small reference.
it's okay. Doctor, what's the main themes? Lonely or
Lots of
lonely heart?
themes. Now, remember, we haven't finished talking about. We still have two more meetings. But I was primarily talking about the quiz. And when I speak about the quiz, I don't know whether you were here or not. I spoke about Hattie and how important she is. And I also spoke about the power of the imagination. Okay,
Okay, doctor. Okay.
Focus on that for tomorrow.
Okay, doctor. شكرا.
Again, let me stress the need for comprehensiveness, شمولية in your answer. You tackle all the aspects of the question. Let me focus or address the idea of clarity. You need to be clear. And also the idea of relevance. Relevance means that you don't answer your own questions. You have a question that you need to answer, not your own question. And this cannot happen if you write 100 words, at least 200 words. Okay? Yeah. I'll see you inshallah on Wednesday. I'll I'll set a time and share it with you on the WhatsApp group, inshallah. Yeah, Nurhan, you're raising your hand.
Doctor, will there be makeup quiz for those who can't attend tomorrow?
ليه؟ ما انت كويسة. Why wouldn't you do the quiz؟ ايه مشكلتك؟
No,
Yeah.
not me.
نعم.
Some
What؟
of my colleagues they can't attend tomorrow.
طب هم يتكلموا, they can speak for themselves يا نوران.
Doctor, not Nurhan, for Ibrahim, because Ibrahim got sick.
احنا and let's think about it when people miss it, بس they have to have good reasons. الميك اب هيبقى يوم الأربعاء يعني طبعا. I shouldn't tell you that there is a makeup on Wednesday, but and I don't want you to assume that you can miss it tomorrow and come on Wednesday and say that I missed it. You have to have very good reasons. Okay? So the exam is
Doctor,
tomorrow.
Wednesday,
Yeah.
which Wednesday? This Wednesday or next Wednesday?
This Wednesday. Yani the regular one is going to be tomorrow and the makeup is going to be the day after. Again, in order to attend the day after, you have to have like a very good reason. Otherwise, you will not be able to do it. Yeah. Yeah, Mariam, I know what your question is. You go, inshallah, tomorrow at 12 and you do the exam in the Lebanese branch.
Okay, thank you, doctor. Thank you.
You're welcome. طيب, we'll stop here and now, and I'll see you, inshallah, on Wednesday. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, doctor.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Thank you, doctor.
Bye.